Hi, my name is Patrick Parsons from the Georgia State University College of Law, and this is a short video on using Pixlr. Now, just a little background, I found a few years ago that I didn't really have photo editing skills that I would like to have that were necessary for some tertiary library tasks like sign making and promotions. So I sought out a program in which to do that that was easy to use but still sort of sophisticated, and I kind of stumbled across Pixlr. So I am going to give a brief demo and overview of how this program works. To start, you just go to pixlr.com/editor, or you can just Google search Pixlr and this is what comes up. On this first screen, you really have a couple options. Create a new image, open image from computer, open image from URL, or from another library. I would pretty strongly suggest to always start with create a new image. By creating a new image instead of opening one, it gives us a blank image as our background. As we'll see in a minute, Pixlr works on layers, and it's kind of important and sort of useful to have a blank image as your first layer. So when we get to this screen, we can name our project. We'll do Pixlr demo, and then we can pick our size. We can either set this if we know how big our composition needs to be. For instance, there are ideal sizes for things like Facebook and Twitter, and you can sort of control your canvas size and adjust to that size. Or if you're not really sure, if you're just editing and then you're going to shrink down later, I would suggest picking the biggest option. You can always shrink down. Quality doesn't decrease when you shrink, but if you have to make something bigger, things will pixelate and you'll be able to see the pixels in the picture and it won't look as good. The first thing we get here is an image. The image is the most basic, the biggest component of things in Pixlr. Basically, we're going to work with images to make picture compositions. Let's start by using an example. Let's say we work for AALL and we wanted to start some marketing campaign about climbing to the top of the mountain, or something about a mountain, some symbolic mountain climbing promotional nonsense. So we're going to put somebody from the association standing on top of a mountain looking victorious. What we can do is we're going to open the picture of someone standing on a mountain. The way we do this, we're going to pick the picture that we want to edit. We'll go to layer and then open image as layer. And we're going to select this picture of this guy standing on a mountain. Layers are the next level of organization in Pixlr. Images are made up of layers. We can see over here on the right hand side, we've got two layers right now. If you remember back to when we used to use transparencies in class, we would lay transparencies on top of each other to make a composite image. Pixlr works the exact same way. You can only edit the layer that you're selecting. So if let's say we want to mark up this layer, we want to maybe graffiti it up. We'll cover up this guy's face. Maybe we'll put my name here in the sky in graffiti letters. Put a little exclamation point. You can see that we can only edit this layer. We can't touch anything behind. So if we go to the background, we can't actually edit the layer that's on top. We can only edit down here. This is going to be an important concept, and you'll see why in a minute. Now let's get rid of all these terrible graffiti marks. Okay, now we're back to our picture. So let's say we want to put the president of the American Association of Law Libraries, Ron Wheeler's head on top of this guy's body. Doesn't do us any good. It's not inspirational for us to see this random person on top of a mountain. We like to see Ron Wheeler on top of a mountain. How do we do that? Well, we can open a brand new image. So we're going to go to image, we're going to go to file, and then new image. Again, we're just going to pick a big canvas and open it. And then just like the last time, we'll go to layer, we'll open image as layer, and then we'll pick this picture of Ron Wheeler. Now, we need to cut his head off of his body to put it on the other picture. We have two options to select pieces of images in Pixlr. we can use either the marquee tool or the lasso tool. Marquee will select in rectangles and squares. Lasso will let you freehand. Lasso is a little better if you're trying to do something where you have to cut something out of the middle of a picture to insert something else. But for our purposes now, we can just use the marquee tool, and you'll see why. And now that we've selected this, we can just do a simple copy paste. So we'll copy, and then we'll paste over to our new image. And you can see that I just made a mistake. I actually pasted this layer below this layer, so you couldn't see it. So we're going to get rid of that. And now you can see that we've got over here, you can see the checkered background. That means blank. So all you can see is this Ron's head in the middle of this layer, in the middle of layer 4. We can move this around by selecting the select tool. And again, it wouldn't let me pick it because I was on the background. Now I'm on the right layer. So I go here and we're looking pretty good, except we've got this terrible background that we need to get rid of. All we have to do is go over here and go to erase and then zoom in. You can use your scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom. You can also select different brush sizes over here in the brush selector. I'm going to use one with kind of a feathered edge. And we can go and sort of work our way in and cut Ron out. Now you can see, because we're on this layer right here that only has Ron's head, we're not affecting the picture behind. We're only affecting the one that we're dealing with. We can only erase the things that are on the layer that we have selected. I'm just going to do kind of a quick job here. And there you go. We've got Ron's head on top of Mountain Climber's body. We'll center it a little bit. And you can see I kind of missed a little bit on the layer. See, it moves the entire thing. So we'll just come back and grab the eraser. Touch that up a little bit. And there we go. But we still have a problem. Ron's head is entirely too big. This is not the size a man's head should be on this small of a body. So we need to shrink it. This is a really easy thing to do. We just make sure we have the right layer selected. We go to edit, we go to free transform, and then we can shrink it down. However, you can see that this does not maintain any sort of aspect ratio. We can make his head skinny, we can make his head really fat, we can make it very long and big. We can sort of turn Ron Wheeler into a Wizard of Oz floating head sort of figure. But that is not going to really help us do what we're trying to accomplish. So what we have to do is hold in the shift key, which will maintain the aspect ratio for his head. Come here, switch it a little bit. There we go. And there we go. We've got Ron Wheeler, and he's on top of a mountain. We have succeeded. Now we've got a couple other options. Pixlr provides us with a lot of different other tools. These are all sort of just accent tools. This one will kind of smudge edges. This one will copy things. These are more advanced. There are really good videos on YouTube that explain how to use each of these. There's a lot of functionality in Pixlr. I'm just trying to focus on real basic things. Now, if we want to make some big changes to the entire thing, let's say we want to add a filter like you would to a picture in Instagram, we can do that. However, you have to realize again that you can only edit the layer that you're currently on. So we need to combine layers, and we do that over here. We just go to merge down, and there we've got everything on the same layer. This is kind of good too when you want to make changes. So now we can use, let's say, the smudge tool, and maybe if we've got some things we don't like, we could smudge them out. One really interesting thing is this tool. It's called the clone stamp. If you want to copy something, let's say we want to copy Ron's face. Let's say we want to copy Ron's face. We just hold in Control and we select where this wants to be. And then we come over here and we can trace Ron's face in the sky. It's actually a really neat tool if you need to recreate texture or other things. And we can do it again over here. Great. But yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things you can do with this program. But for basic editing tools, it's really, really good. So now we're good. We've got the image completed. We want to add a filter. We can come up here and pick any of these pre-made filters, maybe art poster. We can change the settings. Lessen the amount some. It doesn't look that good. Maybe let's do kaleidoscope. Whoa, it's a little intense. There's a lot of options, a lot of fun things you can do. You really get the most out of this program by just kind of going in and playing with it and seeing what you can accomplish. Now, if you want to save, you just do File, Save. I typically save as PNG because it's the highest quality, and pick somewhere on your computer. That's really it. I usually use this in conjunction with another web app called Canva. Canva is canva.com. It's just a sign making program. It's really easy to use. I feel like their fonts and compositions are nice and work really well with your pre-made pictures. So check that out too. Once again, I'm Patrick Parsons from Georgia State College of Law. This is my email. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to give you any advice that I possibly can.